Hello, everybody, and welcome to a very special Harry Potter TCG revival stream. I'm quite excited today because this is the first Harry Potter stream where I'm bringing a guest on uh, to talk and to play against me. Um, so we will soon be joined by Elder, also known as Chris, who's just a nice guy that I bumped into playing the game. And he's going to be my opponent for the day. I don't know what decks he is bringing. I have two decks that I plan on playing today, but we'll see how much we actually have time for. Um, and there are more in store in case I would run out of decks. But he's going to join us in a little bit. But first, I want to talk about what I'm going to try today. So I actually talked on a previous revival stream about how character decks in revival are harder to pull off because Ron Weasley, we can pull him up. Ron Weasley, who lowers the action cost of your characters by 1, is banned in this format. You can't play Ron Weasley. You can't have him in your deck. You can't have him as your starting character. So if you want to play a character deck, you probably have to find another way to make the characters cheap, because paying 2 actions for a character is, in general, pretty expensive. So what this deck is trying to do is play Professor Severus Snape, because he provides a potion's power. And this is really important for a couple of reasons. So first of all, he's actually the only card in my deck that provides power. And that may sound weird, but that's because we only need this one power. That's, in theory, that is all we need to have a decent deck. That is at least what the theory for this deck. And that means that all those slots that we would normally use to play lesson cards, play, maybe items that give us power, we don't need to do. We have freed up those slots, and we have the 1 power available as early as turn 1. That's the other big important thing. And the whole idea is we can play this card, Lockhart's Hair Care Potions, which has the same effect as Ron. So because it costs 1 potion's power and we are Snape, if we have this card, we can play it right away as early as turn 1, and then we can start playing characters for only 1 action, and then essentially it is as if we are playing a Ron deck. Now, of course, this is not as good as Ron, because first of all, we need to get this card. We also need to play it before the effect is applied. There's a few problems. You can't play Ginny Weasley for draw in this format. So the way we're trying to fix the problem that, we need to draw this card is we are playing 4 copies of Nearly Headless Nick, which is a character that can search 2 items from our deck and put them in our hand as a once per game effect. So Nearly Headless Nick allows us to find 2 of these in case we don't draw it on our starting hand. Now, it may be that is not good enough to play it on your second turn, but that is what we are going to try. Hey, bye in the chat. Yeah, good to hear that you enjoyed the ob stream. I hope you are enjoying this Harry Potter stream as well. So you can find the hair care potions with Nick, and once you are able to play characters for just 1 action, you can do a lot of cool things. You can play Peeves to force both players to draw 7 cards, and discard their hand and then draw 7 cards. Then you can follow this up with the effect of Grip Hook, making your opponent discard their hand and then draw as many cards as they discarded. So that's a way to deal damage to your opponent without needing to have power available for spell cards. And Colin Creevy is a card that you can sort of use in conjunction with this. You can spend an action to make both players draw 3 cards. So that's another way to get their card count up before you make them discard with Grip Hook. And then, yes, so after you have used these kinds of powers, we can use Magical Mess Remover to get rid of the characters so that we can play them again and use their once per game effects again. Now we have a few different tools, like Quirrell to get rid of creatures and items to deal with those threats. We have Filch to discard any adventures our opponent might play. We have Madame Pomfrey to heal ourselves. A lot of these are once per game effects, so again, Magical Mess Remover is something we can use to use those effects more than just one time. Hannah Abbott can just put any 2 cards back in our hand if we discard 2 cards, which is great. And we have some alternate ways to deal damage with Crab and Goyle. Another really nice card is, of course, Seamus Finnegan, allowing us to discard 2 cards to get an extra action once per turn. So you can get draw with Peeves. You can deal damage with some different Peeves, Grip Hook, Call-in combos. Use Crab and Goyle in case you really need to deal damage. And we also are playing Fred and George Weasley, allowing us to play adventures for just 1 action, because in order to deal with decks that would disrupt us with spells, we can play this adventure Through the Arch to stop them from playing spells. And if they get rid of Through the Arch, we can we can play more copies of it, but we can also use a card like Hannah Abbott to put it back in our hand. Also have Dean Thomas for some extra draw. So there's a few different things we can do with this deck. And the next step is just to see if it actually works. This is all theory right now. I know similar decks have worked well in the past, but this this deck is untested. So I don't really know if this kind of build works. It may be, that you don't draw the hair care potions enough or something like that, and that could be a problem. So that's what we're going to find out today. The other deck is just a modified version of the McGonagall deck that I played in the Revival tournament. Basically, just trying to destroy your opponent's lessons, and then you use creatures to finish them off. So it's essentially the same deck. Main difference is I'm trying to play Charms in this version only to be able to play Borrowed Wand, because this card seems so good. I mean, it is so good. It gives you 2 power for just 1 card, and that means you're gonna gain basically a card and an action by playing this card. So you're gaining a time, and you don't have to play as many lessons as early because of this card. So it could make the deck faster, which is something it really needs. Of course, I removed the outposts that were useless in the tournament and put some black bats in to be able to apply some pressure earlier. Also put in a Dobby's Disappearance because it's just a really good card that I should have had in the first place. And then I changed the sideboard because it wasn't really doing much against the stuff I was weak against. One of the main changes is putting in Drawing the Sword, which we can use to kill a lot of small creatures at the same time, which was a weakness of the deck previously. Teacup to Rat to get rid of items and gain value, and Through the Arch to stop our opponent from playing spells once again. So I think this will be a much better sideboard, but this can be tweaked over time. I think Drawing the Sword is the most important because that really helps in our weak matchups. And these other 2 cards may be replaceable because they're not necessarily what you need to be playing. There's a lot of other options. And also, you might not need to play 4 copies of Drawing the Sword. You could tweak this a little bit. But that is what we're doing today. Now, before I call up my guest, I'm going to plug in my headphones before they run out of charge. All right, there we go. Let's see if he is there and if he is ready. And if anyone in chat can tell me if they hear him when he joins, that would be much appreciated. You should be able to, but... Hello. Can you hear
Do
me?
you hear me?
I hear you. I hope the stream hears you as well. Can you talk again? It looks like they should hear you.
I can talk again a little.
Very good.
Stream can hear me? Good.
Yeah,
good.
stream. If you guys in stream can tell me if you hear him, it looks like you should be audible. So let's just run with that for now until someone complains. So first of all, yeah, good to have you on stream, man. It's been great chatting you. Yeah, they hear you, so that's perfect. Yeah, it's been great, like discussing the game with you, and playing you in the tournament and stuff. I also, for those who don't know, I presented this guy's Owl deck at one point during the stream. It's a really cool deck. But I just thought I would give you a short opportunity to, like, I don't know, present yourself. So, who are you?
Well, so my gamer name, which is in the title, is Elder, but my real name is Christian, or Chris. I think that's easier, maybe.
Yeah.
I started playing the Harry Potter TCG with the revival, with the start of revival in 2020, I think. Like most people, I assume. I play very frequently Magic the Gathering and have played Yu-Gi-Oh! We talked a lot about other games in chat. So this is also the first time we talked to each other. So before that, we only talked about Harry Potter and other games via chat. And yeah, we played in the Revival Cup in the last.
Yeah.
It was a very close game. All three.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, and it was nice seeing you. Take the whole thing. So this also made me proud of my deck, because the Owl deck, just like your deck, is some baby of our own. So
yes.
I haven't seen your deck before, and my deck was also pretty new when I first ran that in the first Revival Cup, and yeah, so. That's that about me and my experience with Harry Potter TCG. I played frequently, well, not frequently. I played sometimes in paper with my girlfriend, and yeah.
Okay, nice, very cool.
That should be it.
Yeah. Those games we had were pretty awesome. I've tried to plug the weaknesses that you exposed in that tournament, but
yeah, I saw that. Just right now in the stream. I of course changed all my sideboard cards because I have seen your main boards for the two decks, but no, I did not. But yeah, it's good to see the outpost is gone.
Oh yeah.
No shade though.
That's a weight off my back. Wow, that was trash. Not gonna lie, that was not my brightest moment.
I mean, it's a good card in itself, drawing 3 for one action, but I think there are better ones competitively.
Yeah, I think well, the thing about Harry Potter that like if you come from a game like Magic the Gathering, whatever, then not that I've of course played Harry Potter before, so I should know this, but like it may seem like and of course you know this as well, but like if you you in Harry Potter you just have the 2 actions every turn, so it's like if you spend time drawing for cards, you're really not doing anything to interact with what your opponent is doing, right? And then like you just like, so if you start drawing extra cards before you've like emptied your hand, it's kind of bad. And a lot of the time you would just like it to be something different, because you end up like just you want to play cards early. Instead, your outpost forces you to draw cards when you would like to be changing the board state in some way. Yeah. So yeah, I found it to just be
totally
horrendous in the tournament.
Yeah, I rewatched the tournament stream against me, and also I watched all the other games, and you got stuck with it a lot of times.
Yeah.
It's a
Yes.
good top deck in certain situations, but if you have like two of them in your opening hand, it gets a bit icky.
Exactly.
Because you basically mulligan to 5 at that point.
Yeah. And also one of the main reasons I put it in the first place was I thought that the burrow combo was still a thing.
Yeah.
So which like I think if you're playing McGonagall, so the burrow combo of course required people to play escaping the Dursleys to have you force your force you to discard your hand. And then my idea was like, well, you can then, if you solve it, you get the reward to search any card from your deck, which can then be outpost, and you can play that, get 3 cards, draw another card to stay at 4 cards, which means you're safe from the combo. But of course, they changed the ruling on that, so you can't actually do the burrow combo. And also, I'm playing McGonagall, so like being afraid of an adventure doesn't necessarily make that much sense. Yeah. But anyway, do you wanna get into some games? I'm pretty.
Yeah, sure. Let's hop in. Let's hop
Okay.
in. I told you I actually have now 4 decks prepared.
Okay, but
Just
yeah, that's good. We're just gonna freestyle it today. Like basically the whole theme of this stream is just like just exploring revival. Like the tournament is like, well, I was only playing one deck because you have to play the same deck every time, but now I can I can try something different. So I'm gonna start with the other deck, the new one, and then I guess we'll see where we go from there.
Okay, all right. Do you should I play the quote unquote meta deck first against your new deck, or should I roll a dice and see what comes up, what deck I pick?
I think you can decide. I wouldn't mind a meta deck if
okay.
Yeah, that's you just go for whatever you want.
Okay, all right. Let's do that. You face the meta deck first.
All right, very good. So I'm gonna create a game, and where is okay? I'm sorry. My brain froze for a moment. It happens, especially when I'm talking at the same time.
That's
I was just like, how do I host a game again?
Yeah, you got to be multitasking, streaming, hosting a game, talking.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Clicking the right buttons.
So, okay, it's up. So I will be muting myself and also deafening, so I can't hear you. And then I guess we will discuss after the game.
Yep.
All right. Let's do that. Should we do it like a match, like a best of 3 with
of course, sideboard? Of course. I brought my sideboards.
Nice. Okay. Good. Then we do that, and we can roll to see who gets gets to start.
And then we communicate over chat if something is unclear.
Okay. Very nice.
Okay.
Good luck. Have fun.
See you on the other side.
See you on the other side. All right. So now we are in analysis mode. So yes, he rolled 17. That's pretty high. Okay, so he gets to start. Oh. So, yes, so we're playing the Snape deck. We didn't get the Lockhart's hair care potions, but we got Nearly Headless Nick. Another quite neat thing is that we got both Fred and George and Through the Arch. Looks like he might be playing some version of the Nicola deck that destroyed me last time. So we draw for the turn. And I think we just want to get the hair care potions as soon as possible. So we're going to use Nick to get 2 hair care potions into our hand. But yeah, those will be both of my actions. So that's 1 and 2. And that should shuffle my deck, I think. And then we have to pass. So he may put a lot of pressure on us already by putting creatures on the board. But the version that Nicola played of this deck, so it's a Hagrid deck, and it Hagrid triggers when you discard one of your Care of Magical Creatures lessons. Oh, wow. He's playing Grip Hook. I didn't know the deck was playing this card. So playing Grip Hook to force me to discard my hand, and I will draw 9 more cards. Of course, we could draw into the Hair Care Potions. And we did. So we have the Hair Care Potions. We no longer have access to Grip Hook. But we can do some other cool things. We can play a Hair Care. and we can still play this. We can play Seamus and discard 2. So we use Seamus to discard a Nearly Headless Nick. We don't need him anymore. And Seamus. And we can play another character, which I think will be maybe Filch, in case he wants to put adventures down now. Or Colin Creevy. Yeah, we're not really scared of adventures at the moment, actually. So let's go Colin Creevy. Because then we can draw and discard with Seamus and play Fred and George and through the arch next turn. Oh, he's playing Picking on Neville. Okay, but we can discard 2 of our cards from play to prevent this, so we could get rid of the Nick and Colin Creevy, for example. Interesting. Yeah, I think we want to save it. We can use Hannah to get back some stuff that we need. So it passes to us, and we draw for the turn. Could play Dean Thomas and use him to draw. I think we just want to guarantee that we can play through the arch. So we do this and pass. Yeah, so now we're making it hard for him to play spells. His deck doesn't play a whole lot of spells if it's the regular build, but still we want to rule that out. So he stops messing with the Hair Care Potions, and probably he's just gonna play creatures now, which he does. So this Pixie reveals our hand. And he can pick 1 to put under the Pixie. If it leaves play, we get it back. So now he needs to decide on a card here. We, of course, have Quirrell to put this Pixie back. Also, I didn't talk about the sideboard. But I have a character in the sideboard that can use an action to deal 1 damage to a creature, so that's something we can sideboard in to deal with this. And now he passes, so we should unreveal the hand. And we draw for the turn. Okay, there's Quirrell. But we don't need him at the moment, really. I think. So we can play Dean Thomas and use him to draw. And there's Peeves, which we want to play to stop him from playing Peeves himself. And then we pass. So a pixie could be annoying. But yeah, we have some... Oh yeah, so we're supposed to take damage from the pixie. We lose a Colin Creevy. Still have pawn free to shuffle a lot of stuff back. So he might go for Unicorn now. Or Forbidden Corridor. Okay. So draw my card for the turn. So this one forces each player... Oh, wait. Yeah, before my turn, I need to choose one of my cards in play and discard it. Wait, at the end of each player's turn, if he or she has no lessons in play, discard this card. Oh, yeah, true. Did I draw? Yes, I did. So now we can play Madame Pomfrey and heal. Can also play Quirrell. So I think Madame Pomfrey. Use Shames for an extra action. We can use Quirrell. And Filch. And then we could use Madame Pomfrey before. I think we want to use her before passing anyway, but probably not before drawing with Peeves. Because there's probably some stuff in our deck. Yeah, like more Peeves and the Mess Remover that we want to be drawing. So we draw 7. And he's going to discard his 3 and draw 7. And now we can use Madame Pomfrey. Because that means we can destroy the Madame Pomfrey before our next turn. Um, so we want to get some Creevies back. Calling Creevy. Hannah Abbott. I guess Grip Hook in case he discards his Grip Hook with Forbidden Corridor. I guess he's not going to. Maybe Dean Thomas then. Was that's 4 cards. Well, I'm only not going to shuffle back 5 of these. So which are those? I guess Filch. And yeah, then the rest is pick your poison, I guess. The nearly headless Nicks are not necessarily useless, but probably. It's hard for us to... he's probably never going to discard this because he can't play spells. So having access to more items doesn't really help, but that's okay. So we'll put these on the top of the deck. Should be 12 cards, and then we shuffle. And we pass to him. So we're going to take 1 damage from the Pixie. And yeah, he's going to have to discard the Forbidden Corridor because I don't have Lessons. We'll lose a Grip Hook. Oh, he plays a Welsh Green Dragon. That's pretty good. So yeah, this one he has to discard 2 of his Care Lessons to play it. When he does, we take 6 damage though. So we take 6. Yep. We still have no Magical Mess Remover, which we need to be able to trigger Peeves again. So we draw for the turn. So probably to stop the flow of damage, we want to use the Quirrell. And also when he does this, he triggers Hagrid, so he should get a lesson back and a card. Okay. So I think we want to draw with Dean Thomas. That's 3 cards. Now we have a Mess Remover, which is really important. We want to use Seamus to discard to get an extraction. So we can discard a Filch and a Nearly Headless because we're not using them. Play a Hannah, who can get back some important characters later. And we have 1 more action. So I could use Quirrell and then immediately play the Mess Remover. Get rid of the Quirrell and the Peeves. That seems decent. So we're bouncing his stuff, and we get the Hannah Abbott back. We play a Mess Remover to get rid of these 3 Peeves and Quirrell, and we can keep the Dean Thomas on the board in case he plays the Forbidden Corridor, I suppose. And we pass to him. So the fact that he has Grip Hook is really messing with our game plan, because Grip Hook is what we need to deal with all his stuff. But we're still doing okay. This is kind of annoying though, because it allows him to put the Madame Pomfrey under the Pixie when he plays it. Oh, I need to reveal. I forgot. Probably is going to take the Pomfrey, I would assume. But also that means if we use Peeves, then... oh, he takes Hannah. Okay. I think we are fine with this. So he passes the turn. We draw for the turn. So it looks like he's just gathering enough power to play the dragon again. I always forget to conceal my hand. Okay, so we have enough power to... yeah, he just needs one more lesson to play the dragon again. But we can get Peeves back with Hannah. So we can use Hannah to get 2 cards. And yeah, we're gonna play Madame Pomfrey no matter what. We know that much. We can use Seamus to discard 2 here. Dean and the Nick. So we can play 2 more cards. We want to use Peeves while he has a big hand. So we're going to discard this and that and get back Peeves. And the Quirrell, I guess. I think so, yeah. So Quirrell means that we can always get the Hannah back later. So now I can play the Peeves and the Quirrell for my last 2 actions. And then I can use Peeves. So we send our hand to the discard pile again. Then we draw 7. And he has to do the same. So he's... And the only reason that this can be working is because we have healing while he does not. Now we have a bunch more peeves. And we can heal with the palm free to get some good cards back. So I'll do that. And we get back Crab and Goyle is important. The mess remover is also important. There's another Crab and Goyle. But there's an argument that you want the mess remover to also stay in the bin so that you can get it back with Hannah. So I'm gonna keep one of them there. And then, yeah, the rest doesn't matter that much, I think. There's something wrong with my discard pile because I can't have this many copies of Filch. It looks like I have too many filches, but I'll have to fix that later if that's the case. Okay. So, yeah, we just, the rest of the cards don't matter that much. Four more cards. Grip Hook. Grip Hook. Fred and George. And Fred and George. This should be 12 cards. Main deck top. Yeah, it's 12. And then we have to shuffle and pass it back to him. We also, I guess, yeah, we got to keep in mind that Snape can actually heal us 7. So, and we have to take a damage from the creature. So for the moment, we're actually leading in terms of damage. So he plays 2 black bats, which deals 4 damage to us right away. Okay, so we draw for the turn. We have a Hannah now. Oh, actually, yeah, problem that I didn't think of this. Now we have a Hannah on the board, and we can't get rid of her. Yeah, I did not think of this. This is a big problem. Because if we don't get rid of this Hannah, we can't play a new Hannah. So that is really bad. Because now we don't have access to the mess remover. So we need the mess remover to get rid of the Hannah, which means it should have been shuffled back. So that's a mistake. But now we're stuck in a position where I have to use extra actions to draw cards. I could use Quirrell here, but that's only delaying. I want to save him for when I use Peeps the next time. So I'll draw extra. I could play Crab and Goyle here and start dealing damage. But that's probably not fast enough. So I think I would like to draw until I find the... I'm not sure. The magical mess remover. I think I need to find it or lose. So So I'm going to draw again. And that's not it either. So I can use Seamus to get another action. Get rid of these hair care potions. Oh, actually, I think I cheated before when I used Quirrell, because that should return the hair care potions to my hand, and I just totally forgot about it, but we're just gonna keep playing, I guess. And do it right next time. Draw one more. That's not it. So we have to pass. And now we take 5 damage. At least, well, did he discard? Oh, yeah, he did discard a magical mess remover. Okay, I was going to say, at least he didn't discard one of those, but he did. So our chances of getting it is very low. And that's scary for us. So we take 2 more from this black bat. Oh, another magical mess remover gone. So I'm basically screwed, I think. And he plays Hedrick to get back a Welsh Green Dragon. Okay, so now I need to top deck the magical mess remover. Come on. That's not it. I can still use Quirrell to try to delay the game a bit. Maybe there's still a Pomfrey left in the deck. Yeah, only 2 Pomfrey gone, so there should be a Pomfrey left in the deck. Yeah, this is terrible. Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, I should use Snape to put the mess removers back. That's so true. Thank you. I didn't think of that. I'm going to use the power of the audience to shuffle back some mess removers. 1, 2, 3. What else? Is there anything else we would like? Maybe Colin Creevy is good. 4, 5. Crab and Goyle is fine, I think. And one more card. Quirrell, perhaps? That's 7 cards, and then we have to shuffle. Okay, so our first action could be to draw. So let's do that. Okay, Madame Pomfrey is not bad, but we need the mess remover, so we can draw again. That is definitely not a mess remover. We can use Seamus and see more cards, discarding these nicks. So we see another card. There is the mess remover. Okay, so we have it for next turn. Yeah, so on the next turn, yeah, if I use Quirrell now, the Pixie is put back in his hand. And then what? Then he could use the Pixie to put the mess remover under the Pixie. So I would sort of be guaranteeing my doom. So I think I have to take this damage. 5, 7, 8. We can survive it. And we're going to take 6 from the dragon too. But yeah, we're just going to take that damage because I think I have to. And yeah, that's a lot of cards. Yeah, I counted 8. So we can heal 12, and then we are in some trouble. He should be able to play the Welsh green. At least, yeah, at least this means that we get rid of another creature. So we're gonna take 6 damage from him playing this Welsh green. Okay, and he passes. So I draw for the turn. I have to use the mess remover. So we get rid of Peeves, Madame Pomfrey, Hannah, and Dean Thomas. Then we can use Seamus to get an action. So we can discard. I'm not sure. I guess the hair care potions and a nick. Those are both not something we can use. And let's see here. We have to heal, so we have to play the Pomfrey. Yeah, and the question is if we use Peeves now. So we have to think a little bit. So we can heal with Pomfrey and go to 16. We can put all of his cards back with Quirrell. But if we use Peeves this turn, then we lose all of the other cards in our hand. Including Hannah. We kind of need Hannah, I think. Yeah, probably we don't have enough here. So, did they lose a Peeves? Pomfrey, okay. Well, we're gonna have to use Quirrell, but we want to use him last. Pomfrey, Peeves. I guess we just hope that we draw the right stuff. So we play the Peeves. We're gonna lose the hair care potions too. And I get the Hannah back. So now I could use Peeves. Or I can shuffle stuff back before using Peeves. I could shuffle back Hannah before using Peeves. No, I can't use Peeves now because I die, so I have to use Pomfrey. So we put some stuff back. So this will be, I guess, Creevy. We wanted the Hannahs as well. Hannah, that's 2. Creevy, 3. 4. 5. And we're running out of healing. 6, 7, 8. 9. Crab and Goyle to deal damage. 10. 2 more. I don't think any of these are actually relevant. I guess maybe Peeves, possibly Dean Thomas, but we probably don't want to draw for the rest of the game. But those are 12 cards. Main deck top. Let's, yeah. And we have to shuffle. And then we use Peeves. So we send these cards to... That's maybe wrong, because we could play Crab and Goyle and start dealing damage with them. And then wait with using Peeves until later. But this way we get rid of the black bats, so we can't get hit by them anymore. If there's... Unless there's, you know, more of them. Their Peeves is gone now. But yeah, we're probably losing because we used all of our healing. We can't use Grip Hook, and yeah. The only way to win now is Crab and Goyle. And that will only really work if he doesn't play creatures now. So it looks like he's thinking, oh, I didn't pass my turn. There we go. I got a pass. Yeah, so he's probably going to play creatures, and I'm going to have to concede, I think. Yeah, because I have to reveal the cards to him. Now he plays the Pixie. He takes the Mess Remover, so I can't get rid of the Quirrell to play another one. And he has another Black Bat, which is my doom. Because even if we can bounce those with Quirrell, we can't permanently get rid of them, and they deal 2 damage every time they are played. So he passes to us. We get a Grip Hook. So let's see, do we have any outs? I don't think so. No, we're out of outs, so I'm just going to concede. And I'm going to do a bathroom break before the next game. So I'll be right back. All right, welcome back. So we just lost. And we're about to sideboard here. Wait. Yeah, so we can sideboard. So we can look at the cards I actually put in the sideboard. So this, the Leaky Cauldron doesn't really help, I think. This one is another way to make your opponents, to make your characters cheaper, but this one actually requires 2 power. So it's something you would need to have this other sideboard card to be able to play, McGonagall, which provides another power, and she can also get rid of adventures. So I didn't have her in the main deck because McGonagall is a pretty common starting character, and then we wouldn't be able to play this one because of the unique rule. So I chose to have it in the sideboard instead. And then we have Millicent Bulstrode that actually might be very useful against this deck. So once per turn, she allows us to use an action to do 1 damage to an opponent's creature. I don't know that that is enough of an impact, but still, it's something we want. But mainly in that game, the fact that he played Griphook before we could do that was the nail in the coffin. So, yeah, that was bad. And also he was starting, which is also bad for us. So we're going to try using her. And actually, I should have checked, I guess, what was in his discard pile. Looks like I'm playing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Filch by mistake. So I suppose I'll get rid of 6 of those because my deck is actually illegal. Don't know what happened there. Probably some, yeah, I guess a mess up when I made the deck list. So we'll put 2 McGonagalls in instead. And we could play the Leaky Cauldron too, because that can help when we're using Quirrell, then we are returning. We are returning our own item. So to stop having to do that, we could play the Leaky Cauldron potentially if we got a McGonagall on the board. Something like that. So let's try this. And so I will start, and we will draw a starting hand. And we don't have any of the cards that we want. We need the hair care, or something that can get the hair care, or something that draws, and this has none of that, so I'll mulligan. Okay, this is a lot better. So already we have Peeves and Colin Creevy. Kind of nice. And a Magical Mess Remover. I think we may want to play the Peeves right away in case he plays his own copy, so that he doesn't stop us from playing Peeves for the rest of the game, which would be really bad for us. Question is if we use Peeves. I think we want to keep Colin, because next turn we could. I'm not sure. Well, he kept his hand, so I guess it's a good hand. And this would give us 2 extra cards. So maybe a good opportunity to do this. So I'm using Peeves. And Yeah, okay. Yeah, he had Peeves in the starting hand. Okay. Plays 2 lessons and passes. So we draw for the turn. And actually having Through the Arch was kind of nice to stop any removal attempts. Although I guess Peeves, if he plays picking on Neville now, then we can get rid of the Peeves, which is something he doesn't want us to do. So we can play the Fred and George and the Colin, I think. Or no, Fred and George and Hannah works fine, because then Hannah can stop any spells. I don't know that we are afraid of spells, though, I guess. We may still be. Hannah, Fred and George. Oh, there was Scribbly Force in the deck. We have McGonagall now as well. Okay, he just gets up to 5 power. We get to draw for the turn. So we can use Hannah to get the Mess Remover back and Through the Arch back, which seems fine. Yeah, it might make sense just because of Scribbly Force to get the Through the Arch on the board. But we could wait until he's higher on power. Play the Colin. Two picking on Neville's could also be annoying, so I think I'm going to use Hannah right now. Pitch the Hair Care and Fred and George to get back Through the Arch and Mess Remover. And that, I guess that was the first action. I think Colin should be the second one. Oh, he's getting a unicorn on the board. Only way for us to get rid of this is Quirrell. But it's not threatening for now. So this gives him an extra action each turn, but if he puts a bunch of creatures on the board, then we can use Quirrell potentially. We of course need to draw the Quirrell to do that. So we draw for the turn. Oh, there is Quirrell. So we could just play the Quirrell and the McGonagall and pass. I think that's fine. He could try to, now that he has 3 actions per turn, he could try to skip through the arch. But I don't know that that's what he's going for. So it's a good idea to kind of empty my hand, I think, before we go for the next peeves. So play we have now is using Quirrell, playing the Mess Remover, getting rid of these 3, and then playing the next peeves and using him, because that gets rid of the Unicorn from hand as well. I guess we would want the Pomfrey on the board too before we do that. To get the full potential from the Mess Remover. Oh, he does skip 3. Okay. Okay, so we draw for the turn. So he is at 6 power. And I think he's looking to get to Scribbler4's range. If we had another Through the Arch, we could replace it with Fred and George. We don't. So next turn, if he skips 1, he can play a lesson and 1 Scribbler4's. So we could stop that by using Quirrell this turn. But then we lose the Madame Pomfrey. And we really don't want to be losing Madame Pomfreys. That kind of sucks. We can use Colin to both draw 3. Even though that goes against my plan of not drawing more before we play peeves. But in this case, it might be good to get more options. So we could draw 3 and yeah, so what about bouncing, playing peeves? Yeah, I'll just use Colin. So we both draw 3. That didn't help much, but we can play the Pomfrey. I was hoping for a Seamus or something. So probably we're getting hit by Scribbler4's now. But it's okay. So he can solve this now and have 2 actions left over. There's also a play now of Magical Mess Remover, get rid of some of our cards, including Hannah, then play Hannah and get the Through the Arch back. Oh, he's playing Deboning. That stops us from playing cards on our next turn. I guess I didn't realize he was on Deboning. So we draw for the turn. And we have to think about that. Because we can still use Quirrell to put this Unicorn back. So he can play the Unicorn, play a lesson and Deboning, even if we get rid of this Unicorn. So it doesn't seem worthwhile to try to stop him there. Using Creevy means he might draw into his own grip hook, and we really want to be the first one to play the grip hook. So I think I'm just going to draw extra cards normally. So I'll draw 1 extra, 2 extra, and then pass. And this is a bad position. But at least picking on Neville doesn't work. Oh, Hedwig to get back the deboning, supposedly. Yeah, that works. So we can't play cards on this turn either. And that was 2 actions, so he still has 1. Let's get some water. Picking on Neville on the Pomfrey. That allows us to get rid of this Peeves and Hannah, which I like. So I'm going to do that. And then he passes to us. So we draw for the turn. We have grip hook. So we could draw more cards, but I feel like that's doesn't even make sense. Because we want to use Peeves anyway soon. And then we're going to discard our entire hand. So I think it's better to just pass, probably. Yeah, I'm just going to pass. Plus he has the threat of playing grip hook and just discarding our entire hand anyway, and we're going to take a lot of damage. So yeah, I'll pass. Okay. We're definitely getting destroyed in this game. If we get another turn where we can play cards... Oh yeah, we take a damage from Hedwig. Then maybe we can still get back in this. Because we have the opportunity to use grip hook. Picking on Neville on Madame Pomfrey. That's... Yeah, I think we still discard 2 other cards. Colin isn't that important. Virgin George is kind of good to have. I don't know that the McGonagall is that important, and we have another one in hand. Although it might get discarded, but the other cards are kind of important. So I'll get rid of the McGonagall. Oh, so he plays a wanted poster. This allows him to name a non-lesson card, and it costs us 1 more action to play. And he names Peeves. But actually, it's better for us to use grip hook right now. And also, we have Quirrell that can put this back. So this is fine, actually. I'm pretty sure no deboning was played. Right, okay, very good. So we can play the grip hook, bounce everything, and discard the hand to do a lot of damage. That would also stop him from playing grip hook. which I like. 1 Peeves is already in the discard pile. Grip Hook. I think just Hannah. So we can use Quirrell. We're gonna have to take this back into our hand. But now we can do 10 damage with the Grip Hook. And he has to discard his hand and draw 10 more. And that's all of our actions. So we have to pass. And this game is looking a lot better, actually. Now that we can use Grip Hook, it's a totally different game. Oh, yeah. And probably has a lot of options now to choose from. He plays the Pixie, so we have to reveal our hand. And probably he's gonna get rid of the Magical Mess Remover. Yep, he does. So that character, I don't remember, the one we sideboarded in, that can do a damage to a creature is good to get rid of the Pixie. He's also playing a Dementor. So to play this, he has to discard a card of Magical Creatures Lesson. He chooses a character in play and puts it on top of its owner's deck. And oh, we can't use actions to play characters. That's very mean. Okay, he puts Pomfrey on top of our deck. And we can't play characters on our next turn. Okay. So he passes. We draw for the turn. But we can play other things. So we can use the hair care potions. And we can use Hannah Abba to get the adventure back. Still not having Magical Mess Remover is bad, but there's not much we can do about it. So oh, we have to conceal again. Yeah, so we can discard some stuff. The Nearly Headless Nick and I guess a Peeves, because Peeves will always discard the other Peeves. And we get back Through the Arch and a Quirrell to replace the other Quirrell. And then we can play it Through the Arch to at least stop further spells if there's more deboning or whatever. So now we're going to take 2 damage. And as long as we can survive this, we're doing pretty decent, because Grip Hook, if we can just get rid of this Grip Hook, that's a really big threat. And we can also play Peeves to potentially He's playing another Dementor. So this can put Fred and George back on top of our deck. And this, of course, triggers Hagrid too. So we won't be able to play characters on the next turn either, which sucks. Dead and George. Because he's dealing 2 damage to us with the bat. So we draw for the turn. Ooh, there's a mess remover. So we can't play characters. Which is very bad for us. Yes, and yeah, tricky situation. Well, even if we had a Crab and Goyle here, we we couldn't play it because of the Dementor. But yeah, the Dementor is really annoying here. And also not having a Seamus for the 3rd action is annoying. Yeah, so the problem is if we play Magical Mess Remover now to get rid of the Grip Hook, then he can play his own Grip Hook potentially. So I have to check if his Grip Hook is gone. And I don't see it, so I'm a little bit scared of getting rid of my Grip Hook this turn. So I think, I mean, I can play the Hair Cure Potions just to play something, I guess. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It doesn't really help us. And question is, does drawing for extra cards make any sense in this situation? If we want to be using Peeves eventually. I guess it does, because drawing into Hannah is still good. So we can draw... Oh, there it is, Hannah. Drawing another Seamus. Okay, those are cards that we wanted, so it's all good. We're going to take 5 damage now. Yeah, and actually, if it doesn't stop us, next turn we can just play the Mess Remover, get rid of Grip Hook, Hannah, and Quirrell, and then just play Seamus, Grip Hook, and Quirrell. And then we can just put everything back, discard his hand, and do a whole lot of damage with the Grip Hook. Unfortunately, not only is this deck a bit complicated sometimes, but also on untap.in, when you're healing, you have to like drag all the cards manually from your discard pile, so the games take really long. But I think they're interesting games, so I'm sort of fine with it. So he plays a Wanted poster again. And he names Quirrell. I think what he should name is the Mess Remover. No, actually... Okay, no, actually, this is a good play by him, probably. Yeah. So this means we can't play Quirrell this turn. So we draw. However, I can play the Mess Remover and the Grip Hook so that he can't play Grip Hook. And then I'm still able to play Quirrell on my next turn after that. So I think we are going to win. So Mess Remover. Getting rid of these. And playing a Grip Hook. And then we're just saving the Quirrell for next turn. Oh, actually, We're playing a Seamus, of course. We can discard probably a Fred and George, a Peeves, and then play a Grip Hook. So this is looking good now. I don't think there's a way that he can stop this. I guess if he has more Dementors or more wanted posters, maybe he can make this difficult for us. Yeah, 5 more damage, of course. But if we get to use Quirrell and Grip Hook here, then that's a whole lot of damage. That is, yeah, there's going to be 17 cards in his hand. And we still have a healing and we still have Peeves. So he needs a Pixie to get rid of the Quirrell, or a Dementor to stop us from playing characters. Even another wanted poster doesn't stop us, because of course we can get an extra action with Seamus and then still play the Quirrell. So this is the card that maybe we should have more of in the sideboard. I'm not sure, because I mean, even if you have her, she's a bit slow. You can only use her ability once per turn. Probably they could have let her do this multiple times per turn, but I don't know. Yeah. Because it would help against the Pixie in some situations, but I don't know that it's worth it. Looks like he's drawing an extra card and then playing a Unicorn. So he still has one action, but he needs to do something. He needs to play Dementor here, or we are going to win the game right away. And he skips one. Oh, there we go. Yeah, no out. So we can use... Well, actually, we don't need to gain the extra action, I guess. We can just play the Quirrell. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, it's enough. So we just play the Quirrell. And we Grip Hook him. And he's going to have to draw 18 cards. So that's GG. So we get a win. Very nice. So we can play another game, I guess. And we're just going to keep the current deck. And I'm not sideboarding this time. So let's see what we get. So we don't get to start this time. We did not get the hair care potions or a Nick to fetch it, so I'm gonna mulligan to try to find it. There, that's better. This is actually a really good hand. Seamus, Peeves, and hair care on the starting hand is really good. Through the Arch is also nice. But it's hard to play it right away because it's 2 actions. Oh, he plays Madame Pomfrey. So that means we cannot play Madame Pomfrey for the rest of the game. Very, very rude of him. So we play hair care, we play Seamus. We can use Seamus to discard a Filch and something else. Dean Thomas. Seamus, I guess. I guess we're gonna discard our entire hand anyway. We play the Peeves while we can. And use him. And this refills our hand. Cool. Okay, so we can pass. This time we have Bulstrode, so we have a way to get rid of creatures. We have a Grip Hook, so okay, this isn't ideal. So he's going to be at yeah, it's going to be at 6 cards. So the pet cat lets him draw a card when you play it and then discard a card. Okay, so we draw for the turn. We can kill this cat with Bulstrode. And we can also play the Grip Hook and do some damage to him. That will stop him from so we kill the cat. We use Seamus to get an extra action. So we can pitch, I guess, Filch and Nearly Headless Nick. Play the Grip Hook and use the Grip Hook. So he's going to take 6 damage. And we have, looks like we still have decent chances. Black Bat, Cornish Pixie, Unicorn Wanted Poster. So we're nicely getting rid of a lot of the annoying creatures so far. And now we used all of our actions. We pass. Yeah, he's just playing another lesson. Plays the Wanted poster. Now, interesting to see what he's going to name with this. Through the Arch. Okay, so he really wants to be able to play spells. Wait, what is that? 3 actions? Okay, cool. I was right about that. Okay, so we get to draw for the turn. And he named Through the Arch, so hard to play that. But that is kind of fine, I think. So here we could discard 2 cards, play the Magical Mess Remover, get rid of Peeves and Grip Hook, then play the Peeves, use him and hope to draw into another Grip Hook. He didn't lose a Grip Hook yet, but I feel like we have to play this fast. So discarding these, that's 1 action. Peeves is another. Then we have 1 more action potentially. So we play the Mess Remover. Get rid of this. And we can use Seamus to get rid of, I guess, Pomfrey, because we can't use her. It doesn't matter because we're going to discard everything. Play Peeves, we use him. So I draw 7, I still have 1 action. We did not get Grip Hook, but we did get Hannah Abbott, so we can get Grip Hook back that way. Interesting. Yes, probably Hannah Abbott is correct, because then next turn we can do a bunch of nonsense. We could play the Mess Remover, get Peeves and Grip Hook back, and play both of them. Or the other way around. Yeah, the other way around. So we play the Hannah. And we pass. Okay, nice. And picking on Neville is not really a concern. Because that is both of his actions. And then we can do whatever we want when he passes to us. And more water again. Oh, Dub's Disappearance is annoying. So then he gets the action back, unfortunately. So we have to get water. He plays the Dobby on Hannah. So we have to put it back. And then he has 1 more action. And then last action was to draw a card, I think. I think he drew a card but then changed his mind. So he still has 1 action left, because the Dub's Disappearance gives you 1 action back. And he's gonna think about what he wants to do. A nice thing, having the Bulstrode means that if he plays a Black Bat, we can just get rid of it. Plays Picking on Neville on the Seamus Finnegan. So I'll think about that. So getting rid of the Peeves and the Bulstrode seems a bit unnecessary because we have Seamus and Hannah. Next turn we could just play Seamus and Hannah. Yeah, so I'll just lose the Seamus. So he passes to us. Draw a card for the turn. And so we could play Seamus, discard 2 cards, then play Hannah. Yeah, so we use Seamus. Probably, so we discard a Pomfrey for sure, we can't use that. Leaky Cauldron is hard to use. And then what else? So Hannah can get back. Can get stuff back. do we do that right away? Because I can play hand, I get grip hook back, and then play grip hook. It seems pretty good. So we get rid of Leaky Cauldron, Fred and George. Get back Peeves and grip hook to my hand. And then play grip hook. So he could Dementor us here, but we just have to accept that that's a possibility, I think. And if he doesn't disrupt us somehow, we can go for the Mess Remover plus grip hook. Okay, so he goes for Dementor. Question is what he's going to put back. Yeah, grip hook back on top. He could play a Black Bat as well to kill the grip hook now. Oh no, I guess he can't because he played a lesson too. The Hagrid trigger. Okay. So we get a card. And we can't play characters this turn. That means we basically can't do nothing. We could play the Mess Remover this turn. And just kind of hope that he doesn't have picking on Neville and stuff. So Magical Mess Remover, getting rid of these. Yeah, so that then we're hoping that he doesn't have Peeves to block us from doing this. I think that's a fair risk to take, probably. Like, we lose if it happens. But I feel like I shouldn't be wasting actions right now. So the Mess Remover, getting rid of these. And we hope for the best. And he's thinking again. Oh yeah, we take a damage from the Dementor. Now it looks like he's thinking. So picking on Neville on the hair care potions now would be bad. Then we kind of have to sacrifice the Seamus and the Bulstrode. But as long as he doesn't have another one, we keep the hair care and we can go for Peeves plus grip hook. Oh, he does do that. Yeah, we can't afford to lose it, I think. So I think we get rid of these two. Try to save it. If he has another one, then that's very good for him. And he's probably gonna... Yeah, he plays a Black Bat. Okay. So we take 2 damage. Lose Hannah Abbott, but that's okay. And he passes to us. So we draw for the turn. Okay, we have a Bulstrode to get rid of this Black Bat. I wonder if that's worth it. Could play her and kill this. It could be decent to get rid of future black bats as well. Yeah, probably there's no rush to go for this play. I mean, there is a bit of a rush. But I think we want her on the board. This stops pixie plays as well. And we're supposed to take a damage. Yeah. We lose a Quirl. Kind of annoying. And now he's thinking again. Oh, now he has picking on Neville. Okay, so I guess we fucked up. So, because now we're losing this potions no matter what. But he had to top deck that. So the odds were really small, I think. Yeah, he moves his stuff around. Oh, and right, he can heal as well. I totally forgot about that. That makes this an even harder endeavor to embark upon. He can get a lot of annoying cards back. Pixies, Dementors, Disappearance, picking on Neville's, so on. Wanted poster as well. Yeah, so this is an uphill climb. Let's see how many hair care potions we have left. Should be 2 left in the deck. And with the Peeves Grip Hook combo, we can do 14 damage. He's going to be at 36, but we also take 7. We have to keep that in mind. So yeah, with losing the... I was really punished for not going for that play last turn. I wasn't even thinking about that he would... Although, I mean, to be fair to myself, like I feel like the only way we get super punished for that is if he top decks the picking on Neville. Because if he draws the picking on Neville after we use Peace and Grip Hook, we can just always discard those too, and it's actually good for us because it just means that we can play them later on. So we get McGonagall. Now I think we have to play Peeves. We pass. So now the plan is Grip Hook and then go for the combo, I guess. So he's getting a unicorn on the board. Another picking on Neville. He's picking on Eveling the Peeves. Oh, we're so fucked. Yeah, we can't save that. Yeah, not going for it. I guess we got super punished. I still feel it was unlucky, but yeah, we got really punished. Yeah, I mean, we still have Snape for healing. How many... Do we want to use him now? Hannah, Peeves. Quirrell. And the hair care potions. Oh, there's 3 hair care potions. Yeah, so I think I'll use Snape. Shuffle back some hair care potions. Quirrell, probably. And some Peeves. Something like that. Or probably Hannah is more important than Quirrell right now. So I don't know what happened to this Hannah, but okay, a Hannah there and another Hannah. If I can. Oh, it looks like that weird bug. Is that 6 cards? And then there we go. Okay. So we can send this Hannah to main deck. Shuffle. And we can play Dean Thomas and get the 3 cards. I'm not going to use the Colin because he has so many good cards now that will screw us over if he draws them. So giving him more draw seems scary. So I'll pass. I'm going to take 1 damage from the Dementor. Plus he has 3 actions every turn. Yeah, so a big difference from when playing in my house format, where the unique rule only affects your own board, is that if you play a character deck like this, you can get screwed over just because they played like one of their characters. It's such a crazy impactful thing. So he plays a black bat, and I take 2 damage. Yeah, it's crazy to me how much that impacts the game. And this deck would be a lot easier to play if that wasn't the case. But I guess there is some interesting thinking going into trying to block him from playing characters by playing them first. But if he just plays one the first turn, we can't really do anything about it. Now, of course, it's basically our own fault because, because we decided to play a deck where we can't get rid of his characters, but that's just like the way this deck needs to be built, I think. So you need to plan for that. Okay, so took some damage from a black bat. This is very bad. I think the only way this works out is if we can just top deck the hair care potions. We can use Bolstra to get rid of the black bat. Draw a card. Coral is not terrible. But actually putting the Dementor back is not that great, because then he can just stop us from playing characters for a turn. Although right now that it's not as impactful. So we kill the black bat to take less damage. We pass. We take 1 damage from the Dementor. Yeah, I'm really regretting this Bullstrode. It like just slowed us down so much. I got a bit greedy. I guess. Although again, yeah, I think there were like 2 picking on Neville's left in the deck at that point, so and I don't think he would keep one in hand in that situation. Hey there, Belgian extra large. I don't think I will get him in this game. I think that ship is sailing as we speak. So he plays a wanted poster. Actually, an interesting thing here. He has so much stuff on the board. Maybe I could play the grip hook, then play the quirl. Just ignore the fact that they cost 2 actions, and then combine quirl and grip hook to do a lot of damage. I don't think it's a terrible idea. Of course, he can play stuff to put the grip hook back, or try to kill it with picking on Neville. But if he didn't draw into those yet, then perhaps we can do something about it. Okay, so he says hair care potions. So we draw for the turn. And I'm going to try to go for that play. So I'm going to play the grip hook, because I don't think we have an option. Now even the hair care potions cost 2 actions to play. So we play a grip hook. And I'm going to take 2 damage now. We lose a hair care potions and a quirl. But yeah, now we can combine quirl with grip hook, potentially. So picking a Neville on this guy, and we want to save him, so I'm going to get rid of the Bulstrode and the Dean Thomas. Okay, so he plays Desk into Pig. Oh, that's surprising. Well, no, actually, it's not surprising. Okay, yeah, because he has 3 actions. I forgot about that. So Desk into Pig allows him to discard one of his lessons from play. And then he can search 3 creature cards from his deck. So he can just get a Dementor and crush this grip hook with it, which is exactly what he's doing. Yeah, that's really frustrating. So he can play this. Yeah, and he can get a Cornish Pixie as well. Yeah, he has me basically under control now. That's really interesting. Yeah, in this deck it makes a lot of sense, like Desk into Pig. Especially because it can trigger Haggard's ability. So now we can't play characters on our next turn. So we draw for the turn. The only saving grace is the fact that his creatures don't deal a lot of damage every turn. Oh, cool to hear that. So you've played with Chris before. What's a TTRP? So I guess I'm gonna... Yeah, I don't think I want to be drawing cards right now. But he has the Pixie as well, so this is probably game right now. But still, I guess we could get really lucky and draw into the right cards. So we're going to take 3 damage. Drawing cards here, it doesn't seem like it would help us. So he plays the Listen and the Pixie. So now I have to reveal my cards to him. Yeah, if I had a chance in this game, I lost it when I missed my opportunity to play Peeves and Grip Hook because I went for the Bulstrode. Oh, he gets the Voldemort. Very clever. um, Oh, he's playing a black bat as well. Yeah, and he got Hedwig. So he can get something back from his discard pile. Yeah, when I'm in this position where he has the extra actions that he can tutor all of his hit cards, it's basically over. Oh, he's seeing my hand still, so I have to conceal it. Oh. Oh, he passed. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I draw already? No, I need to draw for the turn. Okay. So I think my only out is playing the grip hook and then hoping that he can't get rid of the grip hook and that I top deck a Krill to bounce all of his creatures. And there's one Krill left in the deck. Okay, but, you know, play to your outs. So we try and we pass. And then we're going to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. No, 6. What am I talking about? 6 damage. Yep. Still have the Krill in there. The hope is still alive. Although, like, even if I pull this off, I don't think it's enough. However, it would be a lot of damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, plus the 6. Oh, 7, 8 actually. Yeah, so up to 14 damage with the combo. So if I had not fucked this up, and played the Peeves and the Grip Hook at the right time, maybe this could have been a win. Plays 2 lessons, plays deboning. Okay, then I have to concede. There's no way. So he wins. But I have to take a quick break. And then we're gonna talk about the match. Okay, so I'll be right back, and then we'll have a chat about the match. All right, we are back, and I'm gonna get Chris back in here to talk.
Hello.
Hello. Damn, that that last game was so sad. uh
Well, it worked, but those were long games. That
yeah, it's
was
just so
very
hard to
interesting.
play on tap. Like some of the first of all, the lines actually get pretty complicated, but like
Yeah.
uh some things like healing yourself with Pomfrey is just like it's just a terrible experience, like dragging all the cards and then it's lagging and yeah. Jesus, I
Yeah.
really wish there was a better way, you know?
Yeah. Is
Uh,
it actually 24 clicks or is am I too dumb? It is 24 clicks, right?
what do you mean 24? Oh,
Well, you 12
yes.
cards out of the graveyard and then 12 cards like individually back into the deck. There is no
No,
shortcut
no,
to
you can like select all of the cards that you put on the board and then send all of them to the top of the deck.
Okay, well, so I didn't know that, so that is inefficient of me, but fine.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, but yeah, that's I mean, at least it's 13 clicks and then you have to drag everything, and sometimes they don't end up where you drag them, you know. So
Yeah,
yeah, I just hate it. Um, but like I guess the last one is the freshest one in memory for me. So
yeah,
let's go over that one first. So obviously, first of all, it's a big deal that you well, in general for my deck. A problem is if you play a character that's kind of important to my deck. So
yeah,
playing the Pomfrey, of course, screws up my healing. So that means I kind of have to kill you pretty fast, or like I'm gonna run out of time because I have no way to put cards back. So that was
mm,
a very like game defining thing. But on the other hand, it did like mean that you weren't putting a lot of pressure early. So I did get more time to do what I wanted to do, I felt. But then there was this way further in, there was this crucial moment where, you know, I played the Bullstraw to get rid of a black bat when I could have just played Peeves and Grip Hook and like used Peeves and then Grip Hook, which is essentially 14, but of course I take 7 myself as well.
yeah,
Um, and I guess I just thought that like the Bullstrode would slow down like the barrage of damage later, maybe with Pixis or whatever. And I
mm,
assumed that you didn't have the Picking on Neville in hand, because my logic was that if you did, you would have played it like on the previous turn to get rid of the hair care potions. Because you played one and I discarded 2 cards. And then if you had another one, you could have gotten rid of it. So I was like, if he had it, he would have went for that because he would have wanted me to not play those 2 in one turn, I guess.
yeah,
What was my thinking? So I assumed that you top decked it on the next turn, and I was so I was so shocked. I was like, no, anything but that card, you know. And then I was kicking myself for not playing the piece and the grip hook because I after that I didn't get another opportunity, and the
yeah,
game just totally slipped out of my hands. And I don't know that I would have won even if that happened, but at least I guess there would have been more of a chance. And if I get to play the peeps and the grip hook, the picking on Neville becomes like a lot worse because suddenly I can just discard those if you play the picking on Neville, and you're actually just helping me, you know, like clean up
yeah,
my own unique characters so that I can play them again. Um, so yeah, that was sort of my experience of the last game. And then once you got to the point where you had all these actions, I was actually thinking that, you know, if I get to use grip hook and curl, I can kind of do a lot of damage despite. I probably should have started going for this even earlier rather than digging for the hair care potions because it's such a long shot to actually get it.
yeah,
Um, Probably just play them for 2 actions and hope it's enough, because I could play them, you know, bounce all your creatures and use a grip hook and actually deal like a decent amount of damage, and then I could play a mess remover and hope that I can repeat it or something. Probably way too slow. Um, but yeah, those were my thoughts. Like at that point, when you have all the actions, you can actually tutor the hate cards with Desk into Peg. Then I basically am screwed. Um,
yeah.
I don't know. Now I rambled for a long time, but that was like my thoughts on the last game at least.
Mm.
Um, yeah, what are your thoughts?
Well, the last game, because it's pretty fresh in memory. So, um, I only run one Pomfrey, one Peeves, and one Grip Hook,
Yeah,
and I
that's
would have mulliganed into any one of these.
yeah,
So, I think having Pomfrey is the best choice probably, because I can put on pressure with the creatures. So it was kind of good that I had the Pomfrey in hand.
mm,
I think this was already the deciding factor, because I saw you wanted to put pressure on me with all the grip hook and Peeves triggers, and that worked actually, because I think my first hand, I can't check my graveyard now or my discard pile now, because I shuffled back a lot of stuff. But I
oh
think my first hand or my the second hand, one of your Peeves grip hook triggers were actually so good, because I had all the I had yeah, it was the first. I had a Dementor, I had a Pixie, and I
yeah.
had sufficient lessons, and then you grip or looted me into an unplayable hand with like no lesson, and then you looted me into an unplayable hand with all lessons.
Yeah,
And from I think the pivotal turn was after that, where you played the Bolstrode, and then I top decked the right card in that spot, and I think then I had to actually misplay to lose that game.
yes.
Um, I took Hedwig with the desk to pig, to make sure that there is nothing that you can catch up, because you had at this point you had to use 2 actions to play
Yes.
anything,
Yeah.
because the Through the Arch was taxed and the Haircut Potion was taxed. So I could always just play Hedwig and remove something I didn't want it to see. So yeah,
Yeah.
there was actually the third game was very interesting, but at the same
Yeah.
time, I think the Pomfrey already broke your neck at the start.
Well,
Yeah,
I think the thing that made it so I feel like that made it kind of close is that I had a really good start with hair care, Seamus, and Peeves. It's like one of the
yeah,
best hands you can get. Like
yeah.
that's the
It
fastest
is.
start because like okay, I immediately have 3 actions per turn. I have the Peeves, and I just can just start comboing into things. Um, so it still seemed a bit tough, especially because you could heal yourself 12 with the Pomfrey too.
Yeah,
Um, but like I feel like at least I could have gotten close if I did it the other way. Like a picking on Neville would no longer be really um, as much of an issue, so you would have to do something different. And already having them on the board kind of helps, I guess. It's also stopping you from playing those cards if you draw them.
yeah,
Um, so yeah, there was a lot going on.
yeah.
um,
So what is the takeaway from the 3 games? I think you definitely need some removal for character cards.
and no, I mean it's not possible. Like, how am I gonna get to 5 power? you know?
Yeah, that's a good question. Is there not a single card that you can run?
Uh,
To,
I mean, so I guess I can try to. So, okay. So there are a few problems. So you can try to get to 4 power and play something like Dobby's Disappearance, but that you can only play one
yeah,
copy, right?
yeah,
And picking
yeah,
on Neville doesn't really work because they can just
yeah,
ditch 2 other cards. And then there's you can play Impersonating Goyle, but that's at 5 power. And
that's
the
also
whole
5. Yeah,
yeah, the whole point of this deck is that you don't have to get to a high power count, right?
yeah,
The reason you can play so many copies of all the characters is because I'm staying at 1 power. That means like
yeah,
that I can that's one of the main benefits is like okay, now I don't need to add cards that give power. So yeah, either it's like I feel it's like if I try to go to 5 power, then probably the deck doesn't work anymore.
yeah,
Maybe that's not true. Maybe I can make it work. But that was my feeling, um, and so I feel like either you have to find a way to like still be able to win in cases where they do play like an important character, or it's just you hope that that doesn't happen. Like, or you try to see if
yeah,
it happens, often enough that it's unplayable it might just be that that's the case. But there were, yeah, I don't know. There were some games where it felt like there was still some play despite me not being able to play one of the important characters.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so I don't know. It definitely doesn't feel like as solid as I would like it to, because you have all these problems with like, well, if they just play this character, then you can't do this part of your deck, you know. But also, it
Yeah.
would be a lot worse if you have to get up to 5 power.
Yeah, definitely. You can't play anything. I mean, the most realistic power you probably can get to is 2 at max with the
Yeah,
McGonagall.
I mean, yeah. Well, yeah, you can. Yes, well, with the current build, I mean, you could change it, but yeah, I just, if you have to spend 4 actions getting up to 5 power just to be able to get rid of their characters, that's
Yeah.
so much time, you know.
Yeah.
But maybe, maybe something to be investigated. But yeah, I just
Yeah.
assumed that that wouldn't work. Um, and yeah, of course, in this format, like everyone, or a lot of people are playing like one-off copies of characters, so that
Yeah.
makes it very rough. And it's like, sure, this deck will probably sometimes work, and you can do your nice combos. Because as you saw, the idea is like you can try to lock them out of spells, and
Yeah.
then the creatures that allegedly will not do much because you can like bounce them and then discard them. Although a thing that I had not experienced before, because I'm very new to playing with the revival cards, is like playing against Dementor and
Yeah.
I've seen the Pixie before, but so the Dementor is like very rough tech to deal with. That just like
Yeah.
I just
Definitely.
yeah, it just screws you over so badly, you know. And that one was really like neck breaking.
Yeah.
So yeah, um, so I feel like yeah, it's I don't know. It seems like a fun deck. Maybe could be tested more, but I feel like it's pretty shaky. So like, probably not a good reason to go for this over something like the McGonagall deck that I was playing in the tournament. Some version of that, or some any other deck, because
Yeah.
maybe you're just relying too much on individual copies of characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Might be the case. Well, yeah. It's kind of rough at that spot, because you maybe just what you said. You have to accept that sometimes you can only play with two of your 3 important cards,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
just try play around. I think the Crab and Goyle might be handy in that situation, because the games were really slow, and maybe you just can try and Crab and Goyle someone to death.
Yeah. That was the idea.
Yeah.
Also, I fucked up, as you saw, and somehow I added 8 copies of Argus.
Yes. So
So I mean,
wasn't only 6.
yeah, so that's stupid. But like, so 2 of those could be 2 more Crab and Goyles. That was sort of the idea. Like, if you lose one of your important cards, then Crab and Goyle can compensate, and you have like some of the ideas like, well, if you lose your Peeves, maybe you can go for like Grip Hook plus Creevy plus Crab and Goyle, something like
Yeah.
that. So it could be tested more, it could be tweaked, and also obviously this wasn't an optimal version because I'm playing 8 Filch, which I didn't notice.
What do you mean not optimal? 8 filch is optimal.
Yeah. So you can definitely try to fix it and give it more time. Unfortunately, the games take a long time, at least on Untap. I think in person, if you actually could have physical cards, it would be a lot faster. But yeah.
Yeah.
So I would like to tinker a little bit more with it, but
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, it's because if it is the case that you can like lose one of your characters and still be okay, then it might be a fine, or at least like okay deck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I, I think you might have noticed that I took the deck of your finals opponent.
Yeah. I was saying that, and I was commenting on it, but
Yeah, I switched some cards because I very much like all the synergies with Hagrid and the relocation, which uh, doesn't do anything against the character deck.
yeah, and
Uh, yeah, but I added stuff like Desk to Pig because that's just such a good card. You can tutor 3 creatures that are relevant for the situation. You get back the lesson. You draw a card. That's just so much card advantage in those tight spots. And I also
yeah.
added that you didn't see that card. I also added research. That's the 5
Oh yeah,
power
yeah. I
transfiguration.
was thinking about that card in this kind
Yeah,
of
yeah,
deck. Yeah.
that too. So I get to 7 real quick, and then I can scribble 4s into boning. Um, yeah. So I think those were kind of good add-ons to that deck, especially the desk to pig, because if you can just like silver bullet certain cards, then you don't have to run as many cards of that type. And I
Yeah.
really like the Dementors. When that card was first released, I was like, okay, that's definitely a creature you can run against the Burrow combo, and then the Burrow combo was no more. That's why I left that creature in because I was sure, and
Wait,
anytime
what
soon there
was
will
it?
be another character deck because characters are just very good, very efficient if you can like play them for 1 power, and you showed up with with character deck, so um, I was validated.
Oh yeah. I will have to like punish you by playing a different deck next time. But
I guess.
yeah, no, but so the Burrow decks used to play a lot of characters.
The Burrow decks I think also played the Griphook and Peef stuff
Oh, I see. Okay, okay.
to fill your hands and well, not to fill your hands but to get you down to 0. And Snaffling Potion, and then you're on 0 cards. You can't draw any more cards and stuff. I think it was just
Oh,
like
but Snuffling plus Peeves doesn't work, right?
yeah, not on your turn, but I think they used it. They used it to. I never played that combo myself, and I think they used it to just like mess up your hand and such.
Okay,
There were
okay.
2 versions. They had they were like a very all in combo, and then there was another one. Um, I gladly dodged that deck in the tournaments
Yeah.
because I think it's a nice deck to play, but not to play against.
Okay, yeah. Uh, well, so yeah, yeah. I guess my takeaway today is like this deck. I would kind of like to test it more, but
Yeah,
it's fragile. Like it's easy to tech against, whereas some other decks are like harder
yeah,
to tech against. They're like more solid, you know. Um, like a card like Dementor is very very rough for this deck. So,
yeah,
um, although so a comment about your deck is like it is a snowball deck, right? So once it gets to a certain point, is like it just gets unstoppable.
yeah,
But if you can stop it before it gets to that point, then it like crumbles. That's kind of what happened in the finals of the
yeah,
tournament. So like a good counter, I think, is just the deck that I was playing, just destroying the lessons and not letting
yeah,
it
for
get off
sure.
the
Yeah,
ground.
yeah,
Um, so yeah, will be interesting to see like once people have played for a while. I guess new cards are going to be released soon.
yeah,
But like if people keep playing that deck, because yeah, one risk is you're up against the McGonagall deck and then you get hit by that stuff. And if that's the
yeah,
case, then maybe maybe the deck that I just played will be better because you won't get hit by the pixies and the Dementors as much, maybe. Um, but yeah, this is a random thought on like how a meta
yeah,
game might change. Um, Also, another thing with that deck, I guess, is like I don't know how common it is, but a lot of people play through the arch. I guess it's because of unicorn. It's not as big of a problem. You just get unicorn out and then you skip through
yeah.
the yeah.
I mean, you saw in the first game. I just ignored that that I couldn't play any spells.
Yes. Yeah,
because I thought I could put on enough pressure, and then Quirrell has that downside that he bounces, and if you can't bounce and discard, stuff just comes back immediately, and then the damage increments were enough in that game to close it out. But yeah.
yeah. I didn't want to. I didn't want to use the curl on just a unicorn, so I sort of.
Yeah, that's why I had it sit there for several turns, because I was like, just use Quirrell. It's a unicorn. Use it.
Yeah, I'm like, no, not against this deck. No way.
Yeah, all three games are very interesting because
Yeah.
of these decision points, basically. So I really enjoyed those games.
Yeah, it was a lot of
I think
fun.
the character deck has legs, and if you just think about it, I mean, the Dementors, it's a good card against characters, and it circumvents the Through the Arch. But
Yes.
every other like removal, if I played my owl deck, my character removal is Vanishing Referee. If you play Through the Arch, you have slowed me down several turns before I can use that. So
Exactly.
no chance. And most other character removal cards are spells. So Dementor is like a very unique card in that point.
Yeah.
And if you don't run Dementors, and if you don't run enough in your sideboard, I mean, you could run up to 4, but that's four slots, and this deck does need to warrant 4 slots. So if that's not very popular, you play 2 like I am right now, and then I mean, I can tutor them with a desk to pick. Or if you don't have any ways to tutor that, there is not much that can actually combat the character deck.
Yeah, that's exactly. I was thinking like, oh well, Through the Arch will like lock off all the counterplay, but I just didn't think about the new cards, and both the Pixie and the, well, especially the Dementor. But Pixie is like more generic cards, so you will see it in the like main deck, and Dementor is something you might see in the sideboard, and both of them really hard to deal with, and they get around my plans to like stop people from messing with my characters.
Yeah.
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 Also, game one.
The pick, yeah.
No, I was just gonna say, like, game one, I kind of cheated because I forgot that Quirrell returns my hair care potions, but you still won the game, so I guess it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and I noticed that the second time you bounced it, I was rereading Quirrell, and I was like, yeah, sure. It also bounces your own items.
Yeah.
I also forget that, but I mean, wasn't that important. And I mean, then you have one less action. You replay that. You use Seamus, and then it's like almost even again. So I don't think that made much of a difference.
Yeah, I mean, well, I lost the game anyway, so I guess it didn't. But yeah, just an interesting note. It's easy to forget sometimes that Quirrell hits your own stuff. That's a little annoying part, that every time you use Quirrell, you have to return your thing back. I didn't actually know what to sideboard. I put the Leaky Cauldron in my sideboard because I also have McGonagall in my sideboard. I put her there because she's like a common starting character, so I didn't want her in the main deck. But maybe it should be the other way around, that you like sideboard her out if they are playing McGonagall. But I was thinking like, oh well, then you can get like a Leaky Cauldron on the board, and that means that when you use Quirrell, that you don't have to bounce it. But probably it's not.
Yeah, you can save on one action.
Probably it's not worth it.
About your self bounce, and then use it as discard fodder.
Yeah.
But well, it was interesting.
Yeah, I should probably like switch up the sideboard a bit. But
sideboard is always tuning for very specific games. Also, we only have 10 slots in the sideboard. I mean, we only have. We had how many do we have? Like a year ago, 8. So we now have 10. So it's already better.
Oh, it was increased. I didn't.
Yeah,
it
was increased. The first sideboards were, I think it was 8. So also 10 already is not much. So you have to allocate your sideboard slots very carefully.
Yeah, and I was like, I was sort of like throwing it together at the last second. I was like, I don't really know what to put in the sideboard, and uh, I think yeah. So definitely for this deck, it can be tuned a lot. But yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
but yeah, I guess you have to get going. But
Yep.
it was it was really nice to play with you. Thanks for chatting as well. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Um,
Me too. Thanks for inviting me.
yeah. Thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it, and hope to see you on the channel again, and also in the future tournaments.
Yeah,
So,
can definitely do. Okay.
all right, I'll see you, man.
Have a great weekend. A weekend? It's not. It's not Friday already, right?
Well, no,
Have
but
a great
soon.
weekend later when
Yeah,
Friday is over.
yeah. You too, man. You too.
Okay.
Okay. See you next
Goodbye.
time. Bye bye.
Bye bye. See you next time.
All right, folks. I guess that's it for today. It was nice to have a guest on. I kind of got stomped. But I think the games were really cool, even though they were long. There were a lot of interesting decisions, um, and yeah, there's a lot more testing the character deck that can be done, see how it performs, and a little bit of tuning that can be done for it. But the general idea seems decent. Maybe not the best deck around, as we talked about. It's quite fragile to a few different things, but a cool concept for sure. And to Belgian extra large in the chat, yes. This was the laps around platforms is actually something I played on the stream before this one. So funny that you mention it. It's yeah, as you said, it's just a silly flying laps combo deck that tries to kill your opponent in one turn by playing Aparecium and flying laps. So you can check out previous stream if you want to see it in action. Obviously, this is also quite a fragile deck, but the theme of the stream before this one was just to play fun decks in my classic-ish format. So just showcasing some kind of unusual ideas to show that we're not just try-harding over here. We're also playing things just for fun. Anyway, that's gonna be it for today. It was nice to play some Revival again. Probably will be back with more Revival in the future, trying out some new decks, and definitely when the next Revival tournament comes along, I will be streaming my games in the tournament. So stay tuned for that. And oh yeah, it would be interesting to Belgian to hear what you are trying to do with Flying Laps. So in my deck, you play the Aparecium, then you can play Flying Laps, and you draw a bunch of cards. Sometimes you play the platform 9 3/4 before the Flying Laps, and you get an extra card. Then when you play the Flying Laps, you draw into the next platform. So you can play another platform after you draw to get more actions, then play another Flying Laps, and then you Spiral Dive and discard all the cards that you drew and kill your opponent. So that is the combo. I don't know. I'm not sure what else to do with it. That's the thing that I figured was the way to play the card. So yeah, let me know what you were trying as well. But I think this will be it for today. Unless there's some comment to respond to. I'm just gonna check if Belgian wants to reply. Okay, yeah, he's gonna DM me the list. Okay, so I will see you all next time. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more. And thanks for watching. Bye bye.